What is dead may never die, and it's time for another season of your favorite Detroit Red Wings franchise mode series on the internet. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know who else has done a Detroit series, but you get the point. Rebuilding Hockeytown continues. The 2032-2033 season begins. Now, we had kind of an up and down preseason. Not that that's a great indication of what's going to happen, because every year we dominate the regular season, typically, and then blow it in the playoffs, and I expect nothing else to happen. I expect nothing different. That is what is going to happen. The only question is, can we avoid injuries? Because last year we did all right. Actually, I forgot to set up the penalty kill with Roloff, Tikhonov, and Tubert, so I'm glad I came to this menu. That's all right. All I need to do is add Tubert, and I'll do just that. Last year, we avoided injuries. I thought, to the point where I thought injuries were off, right? I thought injuries were off because there was just nobody injured. And then magically, I think our goaltender, Streit, perhaps, was injured at like the very end of last season. I'm probably jinxing myself by bringing it up, but we're going to get hammered by injuries this year, to the point where I might just get hammered to deal with the pain. Spike of Arnold Palmer, by the way. Ah, God. All right. That's all right, though. I believe every time you start to think this team's going to decline, they just keep delivering, basically. Although, obviously, as we mentioned in the last episode, and as you saw with the team moments ago, it's a weaker team than what we've had in years past. But it's Dylan Boyer's team. We'll see what he can do. Will Sam Boulerice recover, or will we end up trading franchise-level player number 2 in this series? Of course, we already traded Van Kattersham was elite. Who am I thinking of? Dundas. It was Stan Dundas. Man, can you believe we have already traded him? He's gone. We drafted him, and he's gone. Van Kattersham's gone. Boulerice might be gone. Ulf Johansson pulled his groin and will be out for a couple of weeks, which is, disappointing, because now I have to edit. Actually, we have a scratch player, don't we? We do. Solaric. And you know what? I'm just going to put Solaric into that spot. By the way, I did see that Cole Lind bounced back to, what was it, like an 87? So that's good. That's helpful. And we're actually good to go. Boulerice is still somewhat disappointing. Am I going to leave Solaric there? I mean, he's not much of a center. Not at all. All right, here, you know what? Let's just do it that way. That works. Although Solaric is going to have like all that power play time. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just leave Solaric there. Who gives a shit? Who cares? We'll be fine. We'll be fine. He's not out for that long anyway. Johansson. Good old Ulf. He's not gone for too long, so we'll be fine. The big question is, of course, and typically it's at this point in the series where I'm just like, should I sim through the regular seasons, like off screen, and just get to the playoffs? But then again, I guess part of the charm of these videos is me just ranting and rambling about absolutely nothing to kill a little bit of time in between games and in between big moments during the regular season. Now, Rod Roloff was complaining about ice time, and he is going to keep complaining, at least until Ulf Johansson is 100%, and we can get him back into the lineup, and then we'll put Roloff probably on the power play, maybe, to make it happen. We'll see what happens. Is Johansson 100%? No, he's not. I'm going to be pissed if I missed the notification earlier. But we should be okay. Liga defense for a week. Why not? See if we can find us the next great Finn. Our player still isn't healthy. Jesus, I'm starting to panic now that I may have missed the notification before, and that Johansson's sitting there furious. We'll find out. Notification. Give me the good news. Still no? Okay, now I'm panicking. I am having a minor panic attack here. We are in first place in the division. Is Johansson 100% and pissed off at me? That's probably what happened. Yep, he was 100%. Thanks, game, for letting me know. I certainly never... God damn it. Holy shit. Okay, well, let's hope he can bounce back a little bit. He's not completely furious. When was he scratched as of? The 7th. Well, 4 days ago, I didn't get the notification that he was healthy. So, screw you, EA. I didn't see it. I was looking at the top of the screen, waiting. Just waiting for the good news, and it never happened. It never happened. Roloff actually doesn't have that that penalty kill time. Oh, shit, it was supposed to be Roloff, not Yakubov. That was my mistake. Roloff, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. But we'll now have to see if Johansson or Johnson can, find a way to recover, because, oh my god, the luck lately for me in these series when it comes to injuries and having players either return to the lineup sooner than they were supposed to, or just a notification not popping up. I couldn't remember if it was like the 7th or the 11th that he was healthy. I should have double-checked, but the game also should have given me a notification. If it did give me a notification and I missed it, well, then I'm complaining for absolutely no reason, which, typical of me, I suppose. Typical of me, I suppose. But you know what? I have confidence that he'll turn it around. We'll be fine. Although it's not looking like Bolarese is going to turn it around anytime soon. And we're probably screwed. Granted, we are winning, but not like the Charlie Sheen type of winning. God damn, if that was winning, I never want to win again. Anyway, point being, here's that world-class rambling that we were talking about. I don't want to trade Bolarese, is the point. However, my fear is that he will not make it to the end of this episode. I plan to sim the entire season and have the playoffs be in the next video, perhaps, unless, of course, we don't make the postseason. Maybe, if this video isn't too lengthy, we can sim to the playoffs, too. We'll find out. We'll find out. We're not limiting ourselves to anything here. We'll see what happens. I mean, it might end up being kind of Draft to Glory style, where we just sim an entire season draft to draft through one episode, which, I mean, hey, for the people who wanted to see this series go the distance, I mean, we're getting there kind of soon. We're like 10 years away. I can't imagine I'm going to sim 10 more years of this. That's all I'm saying. It might happen. Again, I refuse to comment on when this series is actually going to stop, but needless to say, people have gotten their wish as far as this series continuing for much longer than anybody could have ever expected, myself included. Myself included. Go defense in the old Czech league there. For a week, we'll get to Nikola back. See, I never got one of those notifications. I never got one of those pop-ups, unless I was just spamming the A button and not paying attention. But for Janssen, I didn't see one of those pop-ups. Maybe I'm just losing my mind. That could happen. Cole Lind back up to an 88. Bolarese is up to an 89. Is Evans complaining about ice time? He's not. He's just an 89. Okay, is anybody else complaining about ice time? Janssen was... No, he's just flat out complaining about ice time, I guess. Is he on the power play? So he is on the power play, but he's still complaining about ice time. Figure that one out. Alright. Here, we'll put you on the top line with Bolarese and Pody, and we'll have Evans and Zeeler. Evans is a better center. There you go. We'll see if that solves that. And then third line, anybody complaining about ice time? That's all I care about? No. Okay, good. And then the defense should be fine. How is the defense doing, by the way? Philip Simon doing incredibly well. Kaminsky and Moran doing well. Third pairing, not so much. Third pairing, not so much here. We'll have them swap sides just as a quick little fix. Put a Band-Aid on that scratch, and we'll hope for the best moving forward. We still have a better record than I ever thought we would have. Grand Rapids has a much better record than I expected, that is for sure. But we still have a long way to go. We haven't even made it to 2033 yet. But we're getting there. We're getting there. I promise you. Swiss League. Sweet. Scout the Swiss League for a week. Let's see what happens there. I did get the notification that it's supposed to be, oh god, a good draft year, which we'll see. I mean, again, as far as draft picks go, we're a little bit low. I mean, obviously the strategy of repeatedly, cycling out top prospects for great, for lower prospects or big time picks is what I'm trying to say. I'm just stumbling over every word. We abandoned our strategy to get Matthews, McDavid, Eichel. I think we can recover, though, and get back into that same strategy. Maybe. It might be too little too late because of how few draft picks we have, and I guess it really depends on how long this series goes for. Again, nobody in the rest of the world category. Let's go the Swiss League for another week. Defenseman, again, no need to scout goaltenders. pretty obvious typically. Wow, 8-1 win over Calgary. It is pretty obvious, as I've said a million times, when goaltenders are going to be decent, also known as if they're in the first 3 rounds or so. And even in later rounds, goalies are typically pretty damn good, as we have seen by the caliber of goalies we have had in this series. Let's scout the U.S. forwards. 2 weeks? I'm tempted to go 3. Yeah, I'm going to go 3 weeks. Got it. Just a gut instinct there. We'll see if that pays off. And that way, too, we don't have to set up the scouting again anytime soon. As Antti Koivu goes down with a herniated disc. Not good. Not good. But that will get Igor Bure into the lineup. Of course, Jimmy Ness, who we signed, will be the primary goalie. But now Bure will be the backup, which is good. I mean, he won't get that many games, but we're also making progress down in the AHL. Castonguay is already a third-line guy. I told you guys that was going to happen. We'll leave him in the AHL for now, but I told you that was going to happen. Lamb is not too far back either. We have a lot of greens there all of a sudden. How's the defense looking? Nobody's really made an incredible amount of progress yet, but indeed, we have a little bit of an issue. Now, Tubert's actually doing really well. The fourth line in general is doing really well. Of course, we're a winning team right now, so there's no reason to call up Castonguay. Also, I mean, that was the plan if we had to trade Boulerice, but he's up to a 92 again. So we'll leave the team the same, and as long as Castonguay isn't complaining about ice time, which he wasn't, we'll leave him there. Now, typically, that, if they start the episode at, say, like a depth forward, and then turn into a third pairing guy or a third line guy, they don't seem to complain about the lack of ice time because the game still kind of recognizes them as a depth forward. If I were to save and exit and then reload the sim and then probably go through it, I think at that point he would probably complain. Maybe not, though. Maybe we're just in luck and we're not going to have to deal with it. But despite the Alfio Hansen slightly injured, despite the slightly weaker lineup, at least on paper, I mean, we have lost 2 games in a row, but we're doing incredibly well. Now, of course, the end of last season, we won 17 of our last 18 games heading into the postseason and then still lost in the second round. So I can't claim to have my spirits that high, but we'll see. It's looking good, as it typically does. The big question is what happens once we get to the postseason. I will probably stop the sim at the All-Star break, and we'll take a look at the team. But my God, the Griffins back to their prior dominance, which is a sight for sore eyes. It's beautiful. Of course, the most successful AHL team we have ever had in one of my series. I think it was 5 cups for them, maybe 6. I think somebody said it was 5 cups with the Red Wings, 6 with Grand Rapids, something like that. It's absurd. I mean, granted, yes, we did kind of, jokingly make sure that we won a cup. So really, it's 5 and 5. I mean, I'm surprised I didn't catch more flack for that when we backed out in the postseason and then rejoined. I'm surprised. I mean, granted, that was the only time I did that, and then we ended up dominating from that point on and winning no problem. But I'm surprised I didn't catch a bit more flack for that, as I hit the B button a while ago, but that's all right. We can sit in the first game of February and lose. It's fine by me, because we will still be in for no, we're not. Thought we'd be in first place in our division. The Bruins continue to be absolutely dominant. I'm not too upset about it, in a way, but they continue to be a very successful team. But Boulerice is back to a 93. Chris Zieler having himself a good season, 38 points, not complaining about ice time. Here, let's just look to see if anyone's complaining about ice time first, because that is most important. Unfortunately, Tubert is complaining, as is Roloff, even though they have that the penalty kill time, which is a bit of a shame, but there's not much I can do about it. And actually, here, we'll still play Tikhonov there. I mean, I could put them on the power play, but again, this is what I'm talking about. It's just a pain in the ass. Now, I'm sure they're doing well, but we do have Castonguay there. We could even call up Lamb, so I don't know. I guess we'll try to keep them happy because the team is doing well. God, what can we do here? What can we do? I mean, we could take Cole Lind off the power play, but he's doing really well this season. How about 4v4 lines? Okay, we'll do that instead. We'll put them on the 4v4 lines. So it's Roloff and Tubert that we're complaining. So we'll take them out for Tikhonov and Evans. And we'll see how well that works out. Again, the joy of trying to keep everybody happy. Although it's a bit more of a pain in the ass when you're just trying to keep third-liners happy rather than, first-line forwards. But we'll see if that changes their attitude. But again, Zeeler, 38 points. Boleris is still a monster. It's just, can we keep him happy? And Dustin Evans is still a very competent player. Morgan Pody, who didn't have the best season last year, which is why he's on the second line, even though he's the first line forward. 46 points, doing incredibly well. Alf Johnson. I mean, it's Swedish, so you don't know if it's Johnson or Johnson. At least I don't. Having a decent season with 29 points. Cole Lind is doing well. Bucieris, not bad for a rookie total. Yakubov's doing well. DeNicola's doing well. I'm happy with the team overall. No doubt about it. Simon's up to an 86 and is a plus 36. Sylvan is a beast. He might be leading this team in points. Oh my god. Kaminsky and Moran are 19 and 21 for plus minus. And then Bolig and Lokkonen have at least turned it around. So despite that weaker lineup, we continue to be the dominant team that we have been for so many seasons now. We have 31 games to go. And we'll see what happens. I'm not expecting to have to make a trade or anything. We will stop just shy of the deadline, February 28th. No leap year here. And we'll see what this team's looking like at that point. Can we close the gap with the Bruins is probably the biggest question. Yeah, I think Rodney Pronger he's actually medium top 6. Where was Bucieris? Rodney Pronger, medium top 6. Right. Who was substituted for Bucieris? I have no idea. I can't remember. Emmanuel Bucieris, he needs to get back in the lineup. Bourdon's actually out of the lineup too. Did I forget to set up the AHL team? Because Bourdon and Bucieris should be in. I think I accidentally went best lines. I must have accidentally gone with best lines at some point. That has to be what happened. Although the medium top 9 guys are all at the bottom. Maybe I honestly just forgot to put him in. Well, it's going to be Leo Licht, and good old Rudy that get taken out of the lineup here in favor of Bourdon and Bucieris. I'm a little bit disappointed now if I made that mistake of not putting Bourdon into the lineup, because that is a pretty bad mistake. So Bourdon's medium top 6, Bucieris is medium top 6. God damn, this lineup is stacked. Absolutely stacked here. We'll put the high bottom 6 guy, Hurd, on the fourth line. He has a better center anyway. And then medium top 6. Lamb is actually the youngest. So we'll put him there. Actually, no, we'll go with Bucieris. Do we have a righty? We do, in Rodney Pronger. Bourdon is the better center. And I think we're looking all right. Lamb's still listed as a depth forward. Castonguay hasn't complained, which is fantastic. And hopefully Bucieris doesn't get re-injured in one of these next few games. So again, I'm liking what I'm seeing. We're looking good at both the NHL and the AHL level. It's just a matter of, can we keep everybody happy? Antti Koivu is back. Now, I'm going to risk having him be re-injured here, which is not the smart move. But then again, Bure is getting ice time in his absence, so I'm not completely against it. We'll see what happens. And actually, Jimmy Ness has done better than Koivu has, but we'll see. I mean, if Koivu gets hurt again, I'm not going to, really shed a tear, so it's fine. It's fine, and it gets Bure that ice time, and there it is. I mean, wow, he's out until April, though. I'm sorry, Koivu. I sabotaged you. I knew you were going to be injured again because I played you too early. It was laziness in me not wanting to go back and having to edit the lines again, yet here we are. Really, it was, Jimmy Ness is doing well and Bure's getting ice time and is progressing, so yeah, we'll sacrifice you. It's a blood sacrifice, Antti Koivu. You will be out for 2 weeks. Your back practically broken at this point. I'm sorry. I did what I had to do for the betterment of the team and the tribe. Goddamn sacrificing Auntie Koivu. I'm such a bad person. I knew it would happen, too. I knew it would happen. Like, that's the thing. I'm a bad person because I knew it would happen, but I didn't do anything to stop it. I actively let it happen. I'm such a bad person. Holy shit, 5-0 wins over Chicago and 7-0 over Washington. We followed that up with a loss to Pittsburgh, but we beat the Islanders, which brings us to our next stopping point. Until it doesn't, because I'm gonna just move forward again. Why not? Why not at this point? I think the team's set. We're fine. Only thing you could argue I need at this point is a 5th string goalie, just because of the Koivu sacrifice. But I think we're good. So let's move forward. Let's go to the end of the year. This lineup set. Castonguay will make the lineup next season. We'll have to, of course, make more sweeping changes. But for now, we are good. Both teams are set up pretty damn well. And I like our chances. But I always feel that way. And then we get to the postseason. And it all comes crashing down. Oh, God. All right. Good thing is, though, we continue to have these point streaks. We beat Dallas as well. Beat the Rangers. I mean, we're well on our way to another 50-win season, which I want to say isn't surprising. In a way it is, though, just because of how big of a step back this team took. I mean, because you look at what our defense has been now for so many seasons. Sylvan, Haig, Dahlin, and, Hronik. I always forget. I mean, that was our top 4 for quite a while. I mean, we've certainly taken a step back at this point, but the results speak for themselves. And it helps when you have a 92 overall goalie. Although, granted, the backup is probably a 90 at this point, too. We have qualified for the playoffs, as you would expect. We've hit 50 wins. Still don't know if I have much faith in Boyer. He has struggled in the postseason at both the NHL and AHL levels, as we have seen in this series. So, we'll see what happens, I guess. Tough to say what's going to happen. But yet again, as you would expect, it's make it to the postseason, and then see what happens from there. Swig of Arnold Palmer as we set up the scouting. Delicious. Finished first in the conference. Wow, really? We finished first in the conference. I'm like, oh shit, good season, but the Bruins are probably at like 60 wins. Apparently not. So that's pretty damn helpful. And man, some of the improvements we have seen from the players at the AHL level is fantastic. How good is Graham? Medium top 9. Okay, we'll put in Rudy. Rudy. He's in the lineup. And then on defense, Beach, Tursunbayev, and Kuhlman are all 80 overalls. Not too bad. Ness is up to an 81 and has had one hell of a season. Igor Bure has 17 appearances. He's garbage, but he is a goalie for the future. We'll take a look at the stats here in a moment because we are just about at the end of the season. We have 2 games left to go. Could hit 58 wins in total. We'll put Wayne Hurd back in a moment. Can we hit the 58 win total? How about 57 perhaps? We beat Montreal. There's 57. And that is what it will be. 57 win season. And we'll play the Buffalo Sabres in round 1. It's yet another President's Trophy for the Detroit Red Wings. Can't wait for us to lose in the playoffs. First round to Buffalo. Can't wait. But again, yet another President's Trophy. Let's take out Rudy. We'll put Hurd back in. Now that he's dropped an overall point from sitting 1 game. You whiner. You complainer. Let's take a look at what our lineup did this season. I'll actually, hold on really quick. Before we look at those stats, I should probably see if anybody complained about ice time. Not that it really matters. I mean, we won with this team in the regular season. That's probably the way it will stay, and everybody is happy. Nifty. I mean, the fourth line stayed at 83, so we didn't see much progression. I mean, Cole Lind being back up to an 88 and Boulderis back to a 93 is great. On defense, Simon and Moran both up to 86s. Kaminsky at an 84. Not too shabby. Let's go take a look at the stats, both team-wise and player-specific, and then we'll get into the series. We'll lose in the first round, finish up the draft, and call it a day. Because that's exactly what's going to happen. So, team-specific stats, 119 points for the Detroit Red Wings. I didn't expect the President's Trophy this season. I flat out didn't. Mission accomplished, though. 57 wins. Goals for per game. I wanted to say by far the most. Carolina wasn't too far back, but 3.37 goals for per game is unreal. 72.6% point percentage, by the way, is crazy. Goals against per game, the best defense and goaltending. Of course, our power play was at 18.9%, which is above average, above mid-table, which, I mean, you know, we had to change up the power play and the penalty kill quite a bit to keep people happy, so I guess that's not surprising. The penalty kill was at 83%, which, again, slightly above mid-table. Not too bad at all. 9-1 record heading into the postseason, by the way. Insane. So maybe we'll take a look at the special teams. Might be worth it. The player-specific stats, though. Sylvan led the team, 87 points, 29 goals as a defenseman. Absolutely insane, a plus 57. Simon, his line mate, or his first pairing partner, was a plus 51. 40 points for Simon. That is spectacular. And again, I guess when you're playing with Sylvan, it makes sense. But what a great season for him. Bollery, 79 points, nearly hit 60 assists. 20 goals, though, isn't too shabby. Pody with 31 goals on that second line. Not too shabby at all. Zeeler with 60 points. 57 for Cole Lind in what will probably be his last season here. I think we'll re-sign him and then trade him. Evans with 52 points. Not too bad. Johnson with 49 points. 40 for Simon. Tubert with 38. Boussier's 37. 36 for Yakubov. 36 for Roloff, and you can just see the rest. We don't have to name everybody. It's fine. You get the point. And again, Rudy Moran, 196 penalty minutes, despite being switched to a defensive D-man. Unreal. I'm just looking at those attributes, and I'm like, oh, well, you know, I mean, how 68 discipline, all right, it's cool, no problem. Then I'm like, oh, 96 fighting skill. 96 aggressiveness. No wonder why he took that many penalty minutes. What a goon. The goaltending, 931 save percentage in 59 appearances for Dylan Boyer. 27 appearances for Hovland. He's an 89. He only had a 912 save percentage. So Boyer is absolutely the man in goal for us in this postseason run, which scares the hell out of me. We'll take a look at the rookie race really quickly because we're already here. And it's probably going to be Ulf Olas, 84 overall with 52 points. Kirk Wyman wasn't too far behind. So, pretty much solves the call to race. Holy shit. Well, we have a new leader in scoring. Richard Petruzelic. 86 overall. 91 points, 72 assists for the Carolina Hurricanes. I mean, obviously there are some other names I'm paying attention to. Sylvan finished second in scoring. Owen Tippett with 86 points. Ellie Tolvanen only had 44 goals. Vic Marsh, 78 points. Harold Wall, 78 points. Philip Hronik with 77. Oh, God. Nico with 74 points. The amount of talent we have had. I imagine Petruzelic was playing on the top line with Nolan Patrick, so that would make sense. But still, some surprising names. Tyson Jost led the league, and by a large margin. 59 goals for Tyson Jost. The assist leader was Petruzelic. No surprise there. Par Peterson, former player of ours, if I'm not mistaken, 66 assists as a defenseman. Crazy. And actually, where is... I know people are going to wonder. There's Rasmus Dahlin. Wow. 40 goals. 7 assists. I believe that's a career high. It's amazing what happens when you leave Detroit. Considering there was Hronik and Sylvan. He's the main man in St. Louis, so he gets 40 goals, a career high. Crazy. It's a good thing when people leave Detroit. It's a very good thing for them when they leave Detroit because they can finally be that top pairing defenseman, that true main man, the Carlson, so to speak, of their team, as opposed to being, the second or third best defenseman on the team behind Sylvan. But anyway, playoff time. Let's take a look at Buffalo's lineup. I am going to calendar sim this, though, just in case, because I do want to get to the draft in this episode. But let's see what we are up against in the form of Filip Hronek and the Buffalo Sabres. Top line, Evgeny Svechnikov, long time no see, with René Lecavalier, long time no see, and Ruslan Kovalev. Second line is Roman Halak with Nick Merkley and Tiny Gray, long time no see. Guy Fortier. I know we had a Maxime Fortier, not a Guy Fortier. Josh Kwiatkowski, and Kalle Modine make up the third line. The fourth line, Isaac Belfour, Jake Leschyshyn, and Hans Supis, or is it Supui? Who knows? On defense, Filip Hronek with Luke Green. You have Josh Mahura with Yanni Husel. Jesus, let's calm down. Hellenius. I got ahead of myself there. Theo Homer with Cristiano Meyer. The goalie, oh my God. If we lose, if we lose, oh my God. Offensively, they're not bad. Defensively, they're not bad. If we lose to 281 overall goalies, I never want to hear somebody complain about an 85 overall goalie on my team again. Cough, cough. Rangers series, cough, cough. Game 1, 5-2 victory. Good start. We defended home ice, 2 straight wins. Not too shabby. Game 3, we switch to Buffalo. We lose 3-2. The AHL regular season has come to an end, and the Griffins are back in the postseason. Game 4, wow, and the series is tied. Home team has yet to lose. Game 5, please, oh my God. After cruising through the first 2 games, we find ourselves down 3-2 heading into Game 6, and we'll avoid the calendar sim. It's gonna. I can't even be mad or sad about it. I expect it at this point. This game's conditioned me to expect disappointment. Boulerice, Tikhonov, Sylvan, and Lakonen. Short night for Riley. Second period. All right, Boyer. I'm not too happy with you right now. Rudy Morant scored with 1 second left. Third period, and there we go. The Red Wings take Game 6 by the score of 6-3. Boulerice with a 3-point night. 2-point night for Rudy Morant. Lakonen as well. And we're going to Game 7 against Buffalo in the first round. Unbelievable. Shit, I didn't mean to go best lines down in the AHL. I'll have to double check there. And they're actually down in their series to the Griffins, the Ontario Reign. Not looking too good. I can't believe we lost 3 straight games to Buffalo. That is insane. Really quickly, Roloff must be complaining about ice time, right? No, he's just terrible in general. Okay, cool. So AHL, I mean, it probably is best to go with, the best players. That's fine. Although now certain players don't get into the lineup. We'll take out Leash for Bourdon. And we'll take out Rudy for Pronger. And I'm all right with that lineup at that point. We do need to take out Koivu because he will simply be injured again. But aside from that, we're good. Except, that both teams are facing elimination here. Game 7 for the Red Wings. Game 4 for the Grand Rapids Griffins. And we'll actually jump into that game. I'm not going to play it, but we will sim it to see if they can keep their season alive. First period is just wonderful. Lamb, Castonguay, and Pronger. All right, well, they're moving on, or they're going to Game 5 at least. Holy shit, Castonguay. My God. 8-0 on the road in a game where you could have been eliminated from the postseason. Holy shit. All right, nothing but calendar simming moving forward, apparently. My God. These teams dominate through calendar simming, apparently. Game 7 against Buffalo. Again, I'm expecting the worst. We'll see what happens. First period is scoreless. Second period is not. We'll sim the third period. Are we going to lose after another President's Trophy winning effort? Are we going to lose in the first round to Buffalo? And you can tell by the tone of my voice, I knew this was coming. Because this is what happens. We are the Washington Capitals. All of a sudden, Pody scores from center ice, and that's going to be the only one to beat Riley throughout the course of that game. Yep. The Detroit Red Wings out in the first round. Again. We're cursed at this point. We are absolutely cursed at this point. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. So, whatever. Here, we'll sim this next game. Game 5 against Ontario, and at the very least, the Griffins are moving on. But again, such a great season for the Red Wings. And they're out in the first round. Again. You knew it was coming. We won the first 2 games. It was looking good. Then we lose 3 straight. Win Game 6 in dominant fashion for the most part. And then losing Game 7. The only goal scored on an 81 overall goalie was from center ice. So again, I never want to hear somebody say, oh, this goalie you have on your team right now isn't good enough. Look back to this episode in particular, if you ever have that thought again. An 81 overall goalie just beat the President's Trophy winning Detroit Red Wings. Yeah, that happened. I'm sure you can hear the slight disappointment and, passive-aggressive anger. The Griffins are moving on to the conference final, though, so that's cool. Playing the Texas Stars after beating the Manitoba Moose. So we'll see if they can find some success. Maybe, hopefully, probably not, but we'll see. Let's take... Who the hell do I want out of the lineup right now? I have no idea. Shit. Just go best lines? I don't know who to take out of the lineup. Oh, shit, that was a defenseman. Tursunbayev was a defenseman. I'm like, wait a minute, wasn't it a forward? Who am I not taking out here? I completely forgot. So we'll put Pronger back in for Rudy. So the defense is good. Although Tursunbayev did drop a couple of points, even though he didn't miss a game, I don't think. I'm actually going to make Ness the starter again because it just makes sense. I don't even want to look at that team right now, so let's just pay attention to the AHL. They split the first 4 games. Game 5, can we get the win? We lose 8-5. Game 6, lose, and the season's over. Well, you're going to get to see the draft in this episode. There's only so much more heartbreak I can take in this series, guys. Toronto and Hartford win the respective cups. President's Trophy win, and we lose in the first round. And then the Griffins make it to the conference finals, where they lose to the Texas Stars. Again, to remind you, we won the President's Trophy by 11 points. And then in the AHL, the Griffins had the 3rd best record in the league and the best record in the Western Conference. Just, it's a deep hurt, let me tell you. Petrozellik, of course, led the league. Sylvan won the Hart Trophy, as well as the Norris. Petrozellik won the Lady Byng. Olas won the Calder. Conn Smythe went to Ellie Tolvanen. Michael DiPietro got the Vezina. Boyer and Havlin had the Jennings. Logan Stanley the Masterton. Nolan Patrick the Selke. Sylvan the Ted Lindsay as a defenseman. And then Tyson Jost upends Tolvanen for the Rocket Richard. It's been a long time now since the Griffins have won a Calder Cup. Player awards, is there anybody that we recognize? No, that might be Troy Terry, but that's about it. Oh my god, I am just... You know, at first I'm like, okay, you know what, I expected it. But even though I expected it, I'm still taking this loss somewhat difficult. Like, this is still... Like, it's really setting in how disappointing of a loss that was. Like, it really is. I mean, who's to blame? Who's to blame? Evans, 1 point in 7 games. Bucieris, 1 point in 7 games. Zeeler, only 3 points. Well, we had some underperforming players. How did Boyer do? 933 save percentage for Boyer. So, it really wasn't his fault. It was just underperforming players. And I mean, Ethan Riley, and Matt Murray. I mean, I'm assuming, yeah, they lost to Boston in the next round. So, I don't know, guys. I don't know. That's a very freaking. That's a harsh way to lose. That's a harsh way to lose. But we'll move on to the draft. We'll at least do the draft in this episode, and then we'll end it next season. Or next episode will be the off season, if there is one. Vancouver ends up with the number 1 overall pick. Wow, man, that loss really sucks. As Solaric and Renouf both retire. Not surprising. That might be the most disappointing loss we've had. As Thatcher Demko retires with 444 wins. Tristan Jarry retires. Nedeljkovic, Van Pottelberg. Alexander Belanger. Yep, at 37 years old and a 58 overall. Poor bastard. How about skaters? Connor McDavid retires. Holy shit. 1346 for points in 1,433 games. There you go, I'll say it correctly. Drouin retires. Austin Matthews retires. Wow. I mean, surprised Matthews retired at 35. Ehlers, Marner, Meyer, Stromwall, Kachuk, Larkin, Luke Kunin. Philip Hronik retired, so we definitely got rid of him at the right time. I had a feeling he might retire at 35. So that trade definitely worked out. Definitely worked out. My God. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable, but we will make it to the draft, and we'll see what happens. And if there's a weird jump cut there, I apologize, but noisy neighbors. Again, I try to record at other times that don't include 11 p.m. or later, and people are just loud as shit. But you know what? That's okay. That's okay. I will suffer for my art. Let's get into this draft, and let's hope that I can remember what the hell I'm doing. In a way, though, the frustration from people yelling has resulted in me forgetting about, at least for a moment, the disappointment of this episode. Anyway, what are we looking at draft pick-wise? Just garbage. Just garbage. Absolutely nothing we get. There's nothing we can do for help right now. I can't even trade Cole Lind yet. We have to re-sign him. Do Vancouver even want to trade the pick? They do, but I don't know if I can make this happen. I do have other players I can get rid of. I mean, obviously I'm going to go for this pick. So, I should be able to work my magic here. Hold on. Step 1, trade for a pick other than the first overall pick. Of course, let's say the 20th. Buffalo, go figure. Go fucking figure. And they don't want to trade it. Good. I didn't want to do business with you, Buffalo. You suck. St. Louis, San Jose. Let's try for one of those two. St. Louis, you suck. San Jose, can you please help me? Please help a friend out. I traded you Benoit Garou and Paris. Thank you. That makes it easy for me. How about 2 second-round picks straight up? Will that go through? Yes, it did. I mean, I could have been a bit more stingy about that. I don't care. We're basically going to get the number 1 overall pick again and then move on. We have no idea who is in that top listing at this point. So I'll be intrigued to see if we can get this deal to go through. Will that go through? I wonder how far away we are from getting this deal to go through, because 3rd-round picks do nothing for us right now. How close is that deal? It's really close. Damn it. Okay, but you know what? That's good news. Because a 4th round pick isn't worth shit. So if we can get a lower value player here, which pretty much includes like everybody. Okay, so these guys are all under contract, so we could go with Graham. And that should push the deal through. They would have too many skaters. Shit. Okay, well. Do they have someone who's like even lower value? They do. Nick Suzuki. Do you have more than 1 year left on your deal? You do. Gauthier, though. I think that's Julian Gauthier. It probably is. He's in the right age bracket. Will that go through? Yes, it will. There you go. So we pick up Julian Gauthier. We'll let him go, of course. But yet again, we end up with the number 1 overall pick, as you knew that I would, because that's just what we do. Sean Graham is it's an easy enough sacrifice to make. And that means we have a 4th, 6th, and 7th in this year's draft. Let's see if we can trade that away. To Vancouver. Why not? Can we get a 3rd round pick from you next year? Or is that too much to ask for? Will that go through? Okay, it won't. How about we try for a 4th and a 5th next year? Just for the hell of it. That should go through. There we go. All right, perfect. So we had the number 1 overall pick this year. It's the only pick we have. Let's take a look at the players who are actually on the board in the top 5. I mean, if they're willing to trade the pick, then I don't like our odds of it being a good player. You have 3 playmakers, a sniper, and a 2-way defenseman, Anthony Versteeg. You have 14, Demirs, Kubos, and Leahy. So, I'll probably just let the game pick for me. Again, because I would take the defenseman, right? That's probably who the number 1 pick automatically is going to be. We'll find out. Let's see. And it was Leahy that the game selected as the medium elite. Let's see who Anaheim picks. They took Kubos. Columbus took 14. I didn't mean to hit off or trade. We'll at least see where the top 5 went and then see if the game screwed us over at all. Calgary picked Demirs, who was high top 9. And Versteeg went to Chicago. So Anaheim, Columbus, Calgary, and Chicago. Pretty easy to remember, I'd hope. So let's take a look first off at Leahy, who went number 1 overall, and perhaps rightfully so, 63 overall at 18 years old. So the typical, stereotypical number 1 pick. Not too bad. Anaheim ended up with whom? They ended up with Kubos, who might have a little bit less value, maybe? But it's looking like he was the pick. I mean, I should be able to acquire that guy really quickly if I want. Let me take a look at the values. Kubos was the pick. The game kind of screwed me a little bit. Leahy might be better in the long run. His overall might end up being higher. But Kubos, 73 overall at 18 years old. Not a bad pick. And can immediately be sent down to the AHL. So for that reason, I might look to acquire him. I have a feeling, though, Leahy in the long run will be the better player, which is probably why the game picked him first. Demirs, high top 959 overall. Good God. Poor Calgary. Columbus. What are we looking at here? 14. 70 overall at 18 years old. Well, shit. Let's hope Leahy ends up being the best player in this draft, because the other ones are looking pretty damn good. And the last player was the defenseman that went to Chicago. It was Versteeg, and that's a swing and a miss. So you could argue that it would be worth talking to Anaheim about one. Actually, was it Anaheim? It was. Kubos, 73 overall at 18 years old. Obviously, with hindsight, that's the best player. But Leahy might end up being the highest overall guy. Kubos might cap out at 88. Leahy could make it to a 91, 92. That's typically how it works. So we do have the option, and I will leave it up to you guys. Let me know down in the comments below what you think we should do, if I should just keep the guy that we currently have in Leahy. But for now, to avoid risk of fucking neighbors being loud as shit again, which, it's just lovely, but it is what it is. Man, if it's not I gotta turn off my AC so I don't sweat to death, it's people being loud as shit. It's always something, but you know what? We'll just keep going. The series refuses to die, and despite how disappointing the last episode was, we will be back, I'm sure. So let me know down in the comments below if you think we should trade for Kubos or keep Leahy. Like I said, the advantage to Kubos, he's better now, 10 overall points better, and he can also be immediately sent to the AHL. So let me know what you think about that. But for now, guys, that will do it. So I thank you very much for watching. Of course, you know what you have to do to support the video and the channel. Links in the description for Twitch and Twitter and all that fun stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next episode of Rebuilding Hockey Town. Just like that, it's over. Goodbye. Get out of here. Go watch another video. Please help me.